From an early age, Liam Weston sensed he was unlike others, but it wasn't until he reached the Galactic Academy that he saw his differences as anything more than personal quirks, minor traits that made him stand out on Earth. He hadn't anticipated that in this expansive interstellar hub of learning and training, his very identity as a human would ignite controversy, distrust, and eventually lead to a confrontation he never saw coming. It all kicked off during a critical practical session focused on reflexes, a highly esteemed skill at the Academy, where students were prepared not just for academic excellence but for survival across the galaxies. The Galactic Academy prided itself on developing not only intellectuals but also warriors, diplomats, and explorers equipped to navigate the universe's most remote regions, where danger awaited at every asteroid belt and split-second decisions could be the line between life and death. The Reflex training course was renowned as one of the most challenging classes, a rite of passage for those aiming to graduate. Alien students from all corners of the galaxy were required to participate, sharpening their reflexes through increasingly complex drills. As one of the few humans admitted to this prestigious institution, Liam often felt out of place within the Academy's grand halls. Surrounded by beings of various shapes, sizes, and biological makeups, he quickly realized that blending in was impossible. Each day brought new challenges his peers seemed to handle effortlessly, but he embraced them as tests of his adaptability. Entering the training hall, Liam felt the familiar mix of excitement and nervousness. By now, this feeling was an old companion since he first stepped into the Academy. The hall was immense, a sprawling circular room lined with strange, shimmering panels and a host of alien technologies he couldn't yet grasp. The walls pulsed with an energy field that changed colors, creating an almost hypnotic effect designed to disrupt students' concentration. Alien instructors oversaw the room, their holographic tablets floating beside them, ready to record performances and provide immediate assessments. At the center stood the main training apparatus, a platform that emitted high-speed laser pulses from multiple angles. These pulses were programmed to increase in speed and complexity, testing each student's ability to anticipate and react. Failing to dodge even a single pulse could result in a drop in rankings, an unspoken mark of shame among the Academy's competitive student body. Those who fell to the bottom often found their future prospects limited. Professor Zorak, the lead instructor for reflex training, was already present, meticulously overseeing the setup. He was a member of the Zoran species, a towering reptilian race known for their formidable combat skills and intimidating presence. His slitted, piercing eyes scanned each student as they entered. Liam always found Zorak's gaze unsettling. It was as if the professor could see right through him, deciphering every thought and emotion with a single look. Attention, students! Professor Zorak's powerful voice resonated throughout the training hall. Today's exercise will challenge your reflexes beyond anything you've experienced before. The intensity levels have been increased. Prepare yourselves. Liam stepped onto the platform, his heart racing as he awaited the simulation's start. Around him, alien classmates shifted with nervous energy. Next to him was Greth, a blue-skinned key whose tendrils quivered in anticipation. On his other side stood Maya, a Delphian whose reflective skin glistened under the lights. The Academy had gathered species he'd only ever read about in Earth's limited scientific journals, making the diversity both inspiring and intimidating. The laser pulses began slowly, almost leisurely, as if warming up. Liam sidestepped the first one effortlessly, shifting his weight lightly. As the pulses accelerated, he felt his body respond instinctively. His muscles tightened and moved before his mind fully processed each action, a trait he'd never given much thought to on Earth, but one that had served him well in sports and physical challenges. As the session wore on, Liam noticed his peers starting to struggle. Greth's tendrils flickered erratically as he tried to dodge the lasers, getting hit twice in rapid succession and grunting in frustration each time. Maya, usually composed, was breathing heavily as she fought to keep up with the increasing speed. Despite their efforts, it was clear they were reaching their limits. In contrast, Liam felt a peculiar calm wash over him. His body seemed to move on its own, each motion smooth and precise. He navigated through the pulses with an ease that surprised even himself. He sensed the eyes of his classmates upon him, their gazes filled with a mix of awe and confusion. Whispered conversations spread as they watched him maneuver with agility they hadn't expected from a human. Professor Zorak's attention zeroed in on Liam. What began as curiosity in his eyes shifted to suspicion as the session continued and Liam evaded pulse after pulse. Zorak had taught this course for decades, training students from countless species with unique reflexes and abilities. Yet he had never seen a student perform like this. The human was dodging lasers at a pace that would challenge even the elite Zoran warriors. Weston! Zorak's voice cut sharply through the room, abruptly stopping the the exercise. The other students, grateful for the break, turned their attention to Liam, who stood on the platform breathing steadily, unaffected by the rigorous test. "Yes, Professor," Liam answered respectfully, though confusion tinged his voice. He wasn't sure why he had been singled out. Zorak's slitted eyes narrowed. "Step off the platform." Liam complied, descending to the floor as all eyes followed him, a blend of admiration and unease evident in their expressions. Zorak's face showed no sign of praise, only intense scrutiny. "What exactly are you doing, Weston?" Zorak demanded. Zorak's voice dropped to a low tone, each word heavy with accusation. Liam's expression turned puzzled. "I'm simply taking part in the exercise, sir, just like everyone else," he said. A murmur spread through the room. Zorak's face grew darker. "Don't test me. No one, absolutely no one, has ever dodged every pulse at that velocity without help. Are you using some hidden technology?" The question felt like a punch to Liam's gut. Hidden technology? Assistance? He had been operating purely on instinct, his reflexes kicking in automatically. The idea that he needed some device to aid him was absurd. "No, sir," he replied firmly, though a hint of disbelief colored his voice. "I'm not using anything. It's just my reflexes." Zorak's eyes bored into him, the silence in the room becoming palpable. Liam felt his cheeks warm under the intense scrutiny, the injustice of the accusation stinging him. He had always taken pride in his physical skills, his quick reflexes and athletic ability. To have them questioned so publicly was infuriating. "Just your reflexes," Zorak echoed, his tone thick with skepticism. He looked around at the other students. "Can anyone here support the human's claim?" Silence hung in the air. His classmates shifted uneasily, avoiding his gaze. Liam realized they had witnessed his performance but understood their reluctance to challenge a professor, especially for someone they barely knew. Zorak's jaw tightened. "Weston, effective immediately, you are suspended from this class pending an investigation. If we find that you're cheating, you will be expelled from the academy. Do you understand?" Liam's heart dropped. Suspended for excelling? He stood up straight, suppressing the urge to argue, knowing it would only make things worse. "Yes, sir," he said steadily, a subtle defiance in his tone. As he left the training hall, he felt everyone's eyes on him, whispers trailing in his wake. The first few days of his suspension were a blur of disbelief and frustration. He had worked so hard to earn his place at the Galactic Academy, and now, just as he was finding his footing, he was ousted from a crucial class, all because of his natural reflexes, something he had always considered as ordinary as breathing. To the Academy, it seemed his very humanity was now suspect. He spent his days wandering the Academy's vast, futuristic campus, a mix of alien designs and advanced technology. Built inside an asteroid that had been hollowed out and transformed into a center of learning, the Galactic Academy embodied everything he'd imagined from Earth's science fiction: crystalline corridors that shifted hues, holographic classrooms, and arenas with adjustable gravity fields. But he now saw that it was also a place that didn't truly understand humans. Determined to clear his name, he resolved to prove that his humanity was not a liability but an asset. Liam headed to the Academy's expansive library. The shelves soared in graceful arcs, filled with countless scrolls, holographic tablets, and crystalline memory shards from every civilization known. He accessed the system and began exploring alien records on reflexes, physical attributes, and combat skills. Liam wanted to understand why his abilities seemed so alien, so incomprehensible to his peers. As he sifted through the archives, he discovered documents detailing the unique physical traits of various species. Each one, he learned, possessed distinct strengths evolved from their home planet's conditions. The Zoran, like Professor Zorak, had enhanced strength and muscular resilience. The Delians, represented by his classmate Maya, had reflective skin that adapted to different radiation levels. The key, Greth species, boasted sensory tendrils that provided heightened spatial awareness. Liam noticed that while each species excelled in a specific trait, none seemed to possess the combination of reflex speed, coordination, and adaptability that he displayed. For a moment, pride welled up inside him. His humanity felt like a secret advantage. But the feeling of isolation quickly returned. Nowhere in the library did he find any mention of human capabilities, reflexes, or endurance. It was as if Earth remained a mystery to the galaxy, its people unknown and underestimated. His frustration grew. Were humans truly so misunderstood, or worse, overlooked? Driven by a desire to prove himself, and perhaps humanity as a whole, Liam decided to gather evidence. If he could demonstrate that his reflexes were natural and not a form of cheating, he might restore his standing at the Academy. But first, he needed to test his theory. He couldn't just tell the council about human reflexes, he had to show them to his alien peers and the skeptical faculty alike. The next day, day he approached Greth, Maya, and a few other classmates. They met after classes in a secluded area of the academy grounds where students often practiced informally. Liam sensed their hesitation. After all, he was the cheater who had outperformed the academy's most advanced reflex test. "Why did you ask us here, Liam?" Greth asked, his tendrils twitching with curiosity and a hint of fatigue. "Are you going to explain how you did it?" Liam took a deep breath. "I know you all think I cheated, but I didn't. What you saw, dodging those laser pulses, that's normal for me. For humans," Maya raised a skeptical eyebrow. "Normal? You expect us to believe every human can move like that?" "Not every human," Liam admitted, "but it's not as rare as you might think. On Earth, we're trained in sports, agility drills, and reaction games. Many of us develop quick reflexes. I wanted to show you that my abilities are real and natural." Greth exchanged a glance with Maya and then shrugged. "All right, show us." Liam smiled, feeling the weight of the moment. If he failed, he'd only confirm their suspicions. But if he succeeded, perhaps he could begin to change their perceptions. He set up an impromptu demonstration using a small metallic sphere from the Academy's gym equipment. The training gadget was designed to move unpredictably, often used by students to sharpen their hand-eye coordination. Liam adjusted the sphere so it would launch itself in random directions, bouncing off surfaces with quick, sudden movements. "All right, Maya, you're up first," he said, handing her the device. "The objective is to catch it before it touches the ground. Give it a shot." Maya activated the sphere, her reflective skin catching the ambient light as she focused intently. The sphere shot off, bouncing erratically. She lunged for it, missed, and tried again. After several attempts, she finally caught it, breathing heavily. Her shimmering skin revealed the effort she'd put in. Next was Greth's turn. His sensory tendrils quivered as he tried to anticipate the sphere's unpredictable paths. He managed to catch it once, but required multiple tries and admitted he was exhausted afterward. Then Liam stepped up. He took a deep breath, allowing his instincts to take over. The sphere launched, and without conscious thought, he moved in sync with it. He caught it after just 2 bounces, his hands snapping out in a blur. He repeated this a few more times, each attempt faster and with minimal effort. The sphere scarcely had a chance to rebound before he intercepted it. Greth and Maya watched in stunned silence. Maya's skepticism turned to awe, while Greth's tendrils twitched in surprise. That wasn't cheating," Greth finally said, incredulous. "No, just reflexes," Liam replied, feeling a mix of pride and relief. "Humans train like this from a young age." Maya shook her head, a soft laugh escaping her. "Liam, if I hadn't seen it myself, I wouldn't have believed it." Encouraged by his friend's reactions, Liam continued to research and document his abilities. He gathered scientific papers on human reflexes, studies on reaction times, and even recorded videos of himself demonstrating his agility. Each day, he amassed more evidence, determined to show the Academy that his skills were not tricks or cheats but unique aspects of human physiology. Word of his demonstrations began to spread among the students. Soon, others joined their practice sessions, eager to witness Liam's abilities firsthand. Some came out of competitiveness, hoping to match his skills, while others were simply fascinated. These sessions became a hub of cultural exchange, with students from various species sharing stories about their own physical traits and strengths. Liam listened carefully, keen to understand his classmates' capabilities while teaching them about human resilience, adaptability, and reflex training. His growing popularity caught the attention of the Academy's council, who had been closely monitoring his suspension. Professor Zorak, however, was not pleased. The rumors about Liam's demonstrations only reinforced his suspicion that the human was manipulating others to accept his so-called advantages. Determined to put an end to this, Zorak called for an official review. 2 weeks into his suspension, Liam received a formal summons from the council. The notice carried a sense of finality. He knew this was his last chance to clear his name and prove his case. As Liam approached the council chambers, his heart raced. He had spent hours preparing, gathering every piece of evidence he could find and rehearsing his presentation, but the nerves lingered. The chambers were imposing, with high crystalline walls and an echo that amplified every sound. The council members sat in a semicircle, their faces a blend of diverse alien features, each more stern than the last. Professor Zorak was among them, his slitted eyes fixed on Liam with unwavering skepticism. Beside Zorak sat Chancellor Na, an elderly and wise Saruan with telepathic abilities who led the council. She regarded Liam with a calm yet piercing gaze. "Liam Weston," she began, her resonant voice filling the chamber. "You are here to address allegations that you manipulated your reflex training assessment results. You have requested an opportunity to refute these claims. We are listening," Taking a deep breath, Liam stepped forward, clutching his compiled evidence. He presented his case, outlining the scientific principles behind human reflexes, the cultural emphasis on agility training on Earth, and showcasing recorded footage of his demonstrations. His voice remained steady as he explained the biological factors that enhance human reflexes and how sports and physical activities from a young age hone these abilities. He concluded by highlighting the Academy's lack of understanding of human physiology. "I understand that humans are rare here," he said, meeting Zorak's gaze, "and that our abilities might seem unfamiliar to you, but that doesn't make them any less real. What you witnessed during the training session wasn't cheating. It was simply me, being human." The council sat in thoughtful silence, reviewing his evidence and murmuring among themselves. Professor Zorak's expression remained stoic, but Liam noticed a slight furrow in his brow, as if he was reconsidering his stance. Chancellor Na raised a hand to quiet the whispers. She looked directly at Liam, her expression contemplative. "Liam Weston, your explanation is compelling. It appears we may have underestimated the capabilities of your species." Zorak's jaw tightened, but he gave a begrudging nod. The council conferred briefly before Chancellor Na announced their decision. "Liam, your suspension is lifted. Moreover, we will begin integrating studies of human physiology into our curriculum. Your courage and dedication have not gone unnoticed. Welcome back to the Academy." The lifting of his suspension was a victory, but for Liam, it felt like the start of something much greater. It wasn't just about returning to his reflex training class. It was about proving himself, his humanity, and the resilience of his people to an entire academy filled with alien species. Determined to bridge the gap of understanding, Liam headed to the Academy's vast library. Towering shelves arched gracefully upward, holding countless scrolls, holographic tablets, and crystalline memory shards from every known civilization. Logging into the central system, he immersed himself in research, exploring alien records on reflexes, physical traits, and combat skills. He was resolved to comprehend why his natural abilities seemed so alien, almost inconceivable, to his peers. As he delved deeper into the archives, Liam uncovered intriguing information about the distinct traits of other species. The Zoran, like Professor Zorak, possessed immense strength and exceptional muscular endurance. The Delians, exemplified by Maya, had reflective skin that seamlessly adapted to various forms of radiation. Greth species, the Key, featured sensory tendrils that enhanced their spatial awareness. Each species excelled in a specialized ability, refined over millennia on their home planets. However, Liam noticed something remarkable. None of these species combined reflex speed, coordination, and adaptability the way he did. A brief surge of pride washed over him, as if his humanity was a hidden advantage. But that feeling quickly faded into familiar isolation. It seemed humanity remained an enigma to the galaxy, their potential overlooked and their abilities underestimated. Motivated by a need to prove himself and, by extension, humanity, Liam decided to gather concrete evidence. He knew he couldn't just assert that his reflexes were natural. He had to demonstrate them to his alien peers and the skeptical Academy faculty. This was about more than clearing his name. It was about showing that humans were more capable than the galaxy realized. The following day, Liam approached Greth, Maya, and a few other classmates. They met after classes in a secluded area of the Academy grounds, a quiet spot where students often practiced informally. Their expressions ranged from curious to skeptical. To them, Liam was still the cheater who had inexplicably excelled in reflex training. "Why did you ask us here, Liam?" Greth inquired, his tendrils twitching with cautious curiosity. "Are you finally going to explain how you did it?" Taking a deep breath to steady himself, Liam replied, "I know you think I cheated, but I didn't. What you witnessed in the training hall wasn't a trick. It's just normal for me. For humans." Maya raised an eyebrow skeptically. "Normal? You expect us to believe that all humans can move like that?" "Not all humans," Liam conceded, "but it's not as uncommon as you might think. On Earth, we train in sports, agility exercises, and reaction games. Reflexes like mine aren't rare." He paused, meeting their eyes earnestly. "I want to show you that my abilities are genuine and natural." After a moment of hesitation, Greth shrugged. "All right, show us." Liam smiled, feeling the weight of the moment. If he failed, he would only reinforce their doubts. But if he succeeded, he might begin to dismantle the barriers between them. He set up an experiment using a small metallic sphere sphere from the Academy's gym, a training device designed to move unpredictably, often used for hand-eye coordination drills. Liam configured it to launch in random directions, bouncing off surfaces in rapid succession. "Okay, Maya, you're first," Liam said, handing her the device. "Try to catch it before it hits the ground." Maya activated the sphere. It shot off, bouncing erratically around the area. She lunged and missed, then tried again. After several attempts, she managed to catch it, her reflective skin shimmering from the effort. Next was Greth's turn. His sensory tendrils quivered as he attempted to track the sphere's unpredictable movements. As Liam approached the council chambers, his heartbeat quickened. Despite hours spent preparing, gathering every piece of evidence and rehearsing his words, nervousness clung to him. The chambers were imposing, with soaring crystalline walls and acoustics that magnified every sound. The council members sat in a semicircle, their faces a mosaic of alien features, each more severe than the last. Professor Zorak was among them, his slitted eyes locked onto Liam with unwavering skepticism. Seated beside Zorak was Chancellor Na, an aged and wise Saruan with telepathic abilities who led the council. She regarded Liam with a calm yet piercing gaze. "Liam Weston," she began, her resonant voice filling the chamber. "You are here to address allegations that you manipulated your reflex training results. You have requested the opportunity to refute these claims. We are listening." Drawing a deep breath, Liam stepped forward, clutching his compiled evidence. He presented his case, explaining the scientific foundations of human reflexes, the cultural importance of agility training on Earth, and showcasing recorded footage of his demonstrations. His voice remained steady as he detailed the biological factors that enhance human reflexes and how sports and physical training from a young age hone these abilities. Concluding, he addressed the Academy's unfamiliarity with human physiology. "I understand that humans are rare here," he said, meeting Zorak's gaze, "and our abilities may seem foreign to you, but that doesn't make them any less real. What you witnessed in the training session wasn't cheating. It was simply me being human." The council sat in contemplative silence, reviewing his evidence and murmuring among themselves. Professor Zorak's expression remained stoic, but Liam noticed a slight furrow in his brow, as if he were reconsidering his stance. Chancellor Na raised a hand to quiet the whispers. She looked directly at Liam, her eyes thoughtful. "Liam Weston, your explanation is compelling. It appears we may have underestimated your species' capabilities." Zorak's jaw tightened, but he nodded reluctantly. The council conferred briefly before Chancellor Na announced their decision. "Liam, your suspension is lifted. Furthermore, we will begin integrating studies of human physiology into our curriculum. Your courage and dedication have not gone unnoticed. Welcome back to the Academy." The lifting of his suspension felt like more than a personal victory. For Liam, it marked the start of something much larger. It wasn't just about returning to his reflex training class. It was about proving himself, his humanity, and the resilience of his people to an entire academy filled with alien species. Determined to bridge the gap in understanding, Liam headed to the Academy's expansive library. Towering shelves arched gracefully upward, housing countless scrolls, holographic tablets, and crystalline memory shards from every known civilization. Accessing the central system, he immersed himself in research, delving into alien records on reflexes, physical traits, and combat skills. He was intent on discovering why his natural abilities seemed so foreign, almost inconceivable, to his peers. Greth managed to catch the sphere once but confessed he was drained afterward. Then it was Liam's turn. Taking a deep breath, he let his instincts take control. The sphere darted out, but Liam moved effortlessly, his hands snapping out to intercept it after just 2 bounces. He repeated this 2 more times, each attempt quicker than the last, his movements precise and fluid. The sphere scarcely touched the ground before he caught it. Greth and Maya stared in astonishment. Maya's skepticism had melted into awe, while Greth's tendrils quivered with disbelief. That wasn't cheating?" Greth asked, incredulous. "No," Liam replied with quiet confidence. "It's just reflexes. Humans practice like this all the time." Maya shook her head, a small smile forming. "Liam, if I hadn't witnessed it myself, I wouldn't have believed it." Encouraged by their reactions, Liam continued to research and document his abilities. He gathered scientific articles on human reflexes, recorded videos of his training sessions, and shared Earth data on agility and endurance. News of his experiments spread rapidly. Soon, other students joined their sessions, eager to see Liam's skills firsthand. Some came to challenge him, while others simply wanted to learn. What started as a personal quest to clear his name evolved into a cultural exchange hub. Students shared their species' unique traits and histories, fostering mutual respect and understanding. Even the Academy's council took notice. However, Professor Zorak remained skeptical, determined to halt what he viewed as a human human publicity stunt, Zorak pushed for an official review. 2 weeks later, Liam received a formal invitation to speak at a special symposium, a first in the Academy's history. The event, aimed at exploring human potential in intergalactic affairs, was an unprecedented acknowledgement of Liam's efforts. On the day of the symposium, the Academy's main hall was filled to capacity. Students, faculty, and council members, including Zorak, were in attendance. Stepping onto the stage, Liam felt a mix of nervousness and pride. He began with a simple statement: "Thank you for allowing me to share what it means to be human." He described humanity's evolution, survival instincts, and ability to adapt to harsh environments. He explained how the fight-or-flight response had shaped human reflexes, enabling rapid reactions to threats. Using data and videos, he showcased feats of human athleticism: Olympic sprinters, gymnasts, and swimmers performing with precision that left the audience in awe. "Humans may not have the strength of the Zoran," Liam said, nodding toward Zorak, "or the sensory capabilities of the Key. But our strength lies in our versatility.